So new numbers are out, and the deficit is absolutely exploding. So a Trump administration official went on Fox Business and proceeded to flat out deny reality.
The White House says the annual budget deficit is set to surpass $1 trillion this year. That's actually the highest deficit we've had, excluding the 4 years following the Great Recession. So, Christina, in a growing economy, shouldn't the deficit be shrinking?
You would think, and that's the big debate, the fact that we're talking about this $1 trillion mark that would actually come at the end of fiscal year, so October 1st, and the fact that the national debt level, which is what the government owes, is at $22.5 trillion. There you go. There's that lovely clock that we have on the screen. But just over the last 2 years or so, that we have seen an increase in spending, and we can't just pinpoint it all onto one administration or another, because you do have baby boomers that are aging, so that's putting a burden on mandatory spending. You also have bipartisan support for increase in spending on both sides when it comes to defense and domestic issues. And then this is where it can get a little bit murky, and maybe Robert can weigh in, the fact that the tax cuts, according to the Congressional Budget Office, could add $1.5 trillion to our national debt over the next decade or so. But overall, our economy's still growing, right?
Yeah, but the Democrats were always big spenders, Christina, and the Republicans used to be, I don't know, remember fiscal conservative? What happened to fiscal conservative?
Nothing is the same anymore. History is written.
Where are the fiscal conservative? And, you know, the president promised, he campaigned on talking about wiping out not only just the deficit, but wiping on the debt, out the debt. Meanwhile, he's telling associates privately that the debt is not his problem. I got to say, a lot of these fiscal conservatives, I think, are complete frauds for not standing up and putting the same type of heat against Trump as they did against Obama when Obama wanted to spend like mad like he did.
Jonathan, we put, as someone who helped advise Trump on this, we always put growth first. That was our jobs and growth were our highest priorities, as they should be. And look, I don't like large deficits. I don't like runaway spending. And it is true that we have a bipartisan spending problem. But look, when you have growth like this, the Congressional Budget Office now is predicting that the economy is going to be $6 trillion over the next 10 years, $6 trillion larger in the next 10 years than they thought it would be. And that's in large part because of the tax cuts. So I don't buy this idea that the tax cuts have added to the deficit.
But the same people just said that there was a massive increase in the deficit. So what are you talking about? And those same people project that the deficit is going to continue to rise. It's unbelievable. You give them stone cold reality and they're like, no, it doesn't jive with my ideology. So no, I don't believe it. Wrong. I don't think it's true. What are you talking about? This is not anything that's open for discussion. It's math. It's not open for debate. It is what it is. No, doesn't jive with my ideology. So no. Now, by the way, these are the same people who, when the Republican tax cut bill was passed, they said, oh, this is going to reduce the deficit. They predicted the deficit would not go up at all. That's already been proven wrong. The deficit has gone up massively. So they were just making predictions that turned out to be factually wrong, and then now they're not owning up to it. They're going, no, I don't buy it. What do you mean you don't buy it? What do you mean you don't buy it? What are you talking? It's not one of the options on the menu, dipshit. Oh my God. We're literally run by children and ideologues. There's no other way to describe that. When you're willing to hold on to your ideology, even after it's been proven 100% incorrect, that leads me to believe something else is at play here. And that something else might just be that all these guys who push for trickle-down economics and push for deregulatory policies and push for tax cuts for the rich, that maybe ultimately it comes down to the fact that they're all bought. They're all corrupt. And that's really not as shocking as it might sound, because remember, Donald Trump packed his administration full of Goldman Sachs officials after he was done ripping Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail for doing Goldman Sachs fundraisers. So it's disturbing, because if that's true, then they really are shameless enough and soulless enough to just go out there and put on a public face and a public persona and lie about it while also just taking the money and saying, I don't care about the consequences of this. But it really is, even for the Trump administration, it is stunning that somebody's willing to go out there and say, I don't buy the factual numbers on the deficit. It's just, it's insane. And these are the same people that calculate the deficit now are the same people that calculated the deficit during the Obama years, and they would have no problem saying, oh, the deficit is X during Obama years, and they wouldn't question whether or not it was right or wrong. Now those same people are saying, hey, the deficit rose massively under Trump, and they're like, no, I don't like that, so I'm going to act like that's not the case. There's no way there's not a single argument in favor of these people being in control. You cannot look at these people and say they're adults, they're serious, they know what they're doing. That is fundamentally untrue, and it's proven in the opposite direction. There's not a single shred of evidence to believe that these people are competent to be in the positions that they're in.